Greetings and salutations, everyone. I am Celestial Saturn, and I'm back again with more Touchstarved. So, guys, the official game isn't out yet, but that just means we can play more of the demo, which is awesome. So let's continue on from our spooky little endeavor. Outside. More crimson-eyed soulless scuttle about. It's hard to believe it's the same threatening pack from before. Chase each other in circles, roll around in the bog's mud. They pay no attention to me as the dog-like one escorts me away. It's an uneventful trip. Sometimes the soulless looks over his shoulder to me to make sure I'm still following, like a good puppy. Dusk darkens the sky by the time we reach the city. The soulless sits and looks at me expectantly with familiar crimson eyes. I'm petting him, well, her. That was a good girl. As nervous as I am, I carefully glide my fingers through the soulless's tendrils and scratch beneath his chin, just like Ice had. It pushes into my palm in response, rumbling like a sound akin to a purr. The vibrations are soothing, almost healing my fatigue. When it's satisfied, the soulless spins around and scampers back to the direction we came, vanishing into the darkness. It's barely my first day in Iridia, and I've already encountered so many things I thought were impossible, tamed soulless being one of them. My head spins. Maybe I should call it a day. Nightfall creeps across the streets in Iridia. The city, labyrinthine, even in daytime, has become a warren of treacherous alleyways. The streets are completely deserted. If I hadn't been here earlier, I would have thought this part of the city abandoned. I make my way through the winding streets, doing my best to keep my bearing towards the wet wick. My steps slow when I hear rustling in the dark. Am I about to get jumped by a possum? I strain my ears, but everything is still. Is the silence playing tricks on me? Considering what you dealt with, everything's wrong. The fine hairs on the back of my neck prickle, a frisson of discomfort running down my spine. Something is wrong. My eyes dart from one side of the street to the other, searching for movement, but the shadows are as deep and dark as pools of ink, and I see nothing. Oh boy. I can't stay here. I need to reach a busier part of the city. Drawing my cloak tighter around my body, I hurry on my way. Though I keep my eyes sharp and listen intently, there's only the sound of my own footsteps. As the moments pass and nothing happens, I begin to wonder, maybe I really did imagine that noise? No. Believe half of what you hear and all of what you see. If you felt that there's something there, there may be something there. Don't let that gut feeling wane. I turn the next corner and my thoughts come to a screaming halt. My head spins, the world blurring as adrenaline rushes through my veins. Only one thing is clear amidst the haze. The soulless that attacked the caravan. Yep. You weren't imagining it, were ya? I just realized, are those fingers? Yeah, those are like clawed fingers that make a part of the ridge on his back. That's kind of cool. And your dew claws. That's kind of cool. I know I keep saying that it's kind of cool, but when you pick apart a monster's design and like the practicality of it, it becomes more and more interesting. It's crouched over a dark indistinct shape. A body. It's time for me to melt into the darkness like Homer Simpson.
Oh, okay.
A garland of intestines spilled from pallid flesh. Blood grouts the cobblestone. For mercy. The soulless is too distracted by his meal to have noticed me. My feet feel as heavy as stones, but I just can't stand here. Holding my breath, I take a step backwards. When the wet, slurping sounds don't abate, I take another, and then another. Then a shard of glass crunches under my heel. The world hates me, and everything I stand for. I could have just melted into an alleyway, melted into the background, into that inky darkness, and crouched down where it couldn't see me, and waited for it to pass. But no, the world had to give away my presence. The world seems to slow to a crawl as the soulless raises his head, blood dripping from his tendrils. Every single one of his sulphurous, bulging eyes fix unblinkingly on me. It's really here. It's come back for me. I am dead. I am just super totally awesomely dead. No shit! I'm off like a shot, running for my life through the darkened streets. Behind me, the end of that sentence, and heavy footfalls pound after me. My heart thunders in my chest. I take turns at random, trying to lose it in the maze of streets. I can't seem to shake it. I can hear his breathing now, a wet, fluttering rasp, growing closer and closer. The same claws that severed my arm swipe out. I duck, saved by pure reflex, and skid around a corner. I take 3 running strides before the bottom drops out of my stomach. A wall twice as high as me bars my way, a dead end. When I turn around, the soulless looms in the entryway to the alley. It's no longer running. It doesn't have to. As it prowls closer, my thoughts race. Some of the buildings lining the streets are lit. There must be people inside. It's a long shot, but... Screaming for help never works. Because even in the real world, you can sit there and scream for help, but everyone assumes that somebody else called the authorities and you end up dead. Go to a door. I whirl, grabbing the handle to the nearest door. It turns completely, the hinges creaking as I push. I feel a flash of hope before a weight hits the door from the other side and slams shut. The click of the lock turning is grimly final. Asshole! I'm jumping through your window next. In this wretched world, few people will stick their neck out to help their own flesh and blood. Never mind a stranger. The soulless gives a rasping hiss. It's the only warning I get before it lunges for me with a flash of claws. Duck and let that door get broken into. Karma will be a bitch to the person there. I hurl myself to the side, but the slick cobblestones betray me. I fall, sprawling over the rough stone. As the soulless looms over me, I scramble away from it until my back hits the wall. There's nowhere left to go. It descends on me for the kill. But the impact never comes. I warily crack open one eye, then the other, not sure whether I should believe what I'm seeing. A hooded figure crouches in front of me, one blood-stained hand outstretched. Moonlight silvers the edge of their stiletto knife. Their face and hands are splattered with blood. And the soulless? My eyes dart past my unexpected rescuer to the misshapen form behind them. The soulless's many eyes, once restless and vibrant, now look dull and waxy. A red pool spreads slowly from under its body. Numb with shock, I can't help but stare. It's dead. After all the people is killed, after nearly killing me twice, I can hardly believe it. Well, I gingerly take the offered hand. The stranger's gaze dips to my bandages. Pale lips part on the brink of a question, then close again. With a strength belaying their slight frame, they pull me to my feet. As soon as I'm on my own 2 feet again, they pull away from me and start wiping the blood from their face and hands. Stay there. They turn away from me stiffly, leaning over the soulless's gangly body. With their back towards me, I realize I saw their hooded silhouette at the cenobium. You're at the cenobium? You saved me, and you're shorter than I thought. You're at the cenobium. I've seen you before. You were at the cenobium earlier, weren't you? They cast a wary look at me. So what if I was? Their harsh response takes me aback. Before I can formulate a response, they continue. What are you thinking, traveling alone at night? Oh, the spirals in your eyes are like dizzying. This is far from the worst thing hunting Lowtown. I can't make heads or tails of them. First they save me, and now they scold me. Well, all things considering, you're in an unfamiliar town where secrets are key to get what you want. You could have easily been trafficked. You could have been sold off as meat. You could have just been struck dead. And of course the Soulless is going to lurk the streets. Everyone's locked their doors and probably stayed away from their windows to make sure that they weren't tracked. So yeah, you're getting scolded for good reason. If you're in an unfamiliar town that you don't know like heads or tails of, then yeah, what the hell were you thinking? You don't know the rules of this town. Lesson learned. I could do without the lecture though. To my surprise, they break eye contact. Their attention glides back to the Soulless's corpse. They examine it with an inscrutable expression. I clear my throat to fill the silence. I'm Saturn. Min. Suddenly, Min tenses. Their blade flashes as they drive it into the base of the Soulless's skull, right between the cervical vertebrae. Oh, double tap. Yeah, make sure to double tap that thing. The Soulless thrashes once, letting out a rattling hiss as air leaves its lungs. Min leans on the blade, driving it deeper and deeper until there's a sickening crunch and the creature goes limp. I like this person. They understand double tap. Yeah, it was down, but you need to hit it where it will not get back up. And right in the cervical spine, too? Very good. I like you. You know how to survive. My heart thuds in my chest. It must have been clinging to life by a thread. Min straightens up, withdrawing their blade in a single smooth motion. Better to put wretched things like this out of their misery. They calmly clean the blood from their life. They struck with surgical precision. Their quick, clean movements are familiar. Why are Soulless inside the city? Well, that's obvious. They're hungry. Are you a scientist? Min stops mid-motion, lifting their head to stare at me. You knew exactly where to strike. Have you studied anatomy or medicine? Not quite. Why is the Soulless inside of the city? Min looks at me, eyes searching before realization dawns. You're new here. There's no walls around the city. Soulless can come and go as they please until someone is contracted to stop them. The Cenobium patrols. don't bother to protect Lowtown. Not anymore. Let me guess, you're not a fan of the Cenobium. I wouldn't go that far. Their brow abruptly furrows, and they sheathe their knife, motioning for me to follow them. It's not safe here. The vultures can smell death. I'm not quite sure what they mean, but I don't want to stay lost in this city. I trail behind them as they stride down the street. If it's so dangerous, then why are you helping me? I came for the bounty on that Solus, and you were in the way. Fair enough, thank you for saving my life. Get me to safety and I will stop bothering you. Not killing you isn't the same as helping you. Don't count on being so lucky again, or you'll be dead by sunrise. Their answer is stingingly harsh, but fair. I'm an idiot, out at night, and I don't know what I'm doing. I just need to find my lodgings. I hold my hands up, trying to forestall any more snippy comments. Alright, I get it. I love to get out of your way, but I'm sort of lost. I just need directions back to my lodgings. What makes you think I'll help you? Nothing, but there's no harm in asking. That seems to catch them off guard. Their brow knits and they look away, scowling. How troublesome. Saturn? I turn, surprised by the voice. Karas walks down the street towards us. His white and gold clothing is pristine, despite the grime of the city. Hello, Min. I see that Solus was your work. Min shrugs. There's a familiarity to the way they regard each other. Either way, this either or just sounds so mean to men. You know them, Cross? Min is a freelancer who has done a few errands for me. They're quite reliable. Unreliable freelancers don't eat. A freelancer who wields a dagger like a scalpel? There must be something more to that story. They have a history. They definitely have a history. Saturn needs to get back to wherever she's staying before she wanders into the jaws of another Solus. It is late. Were you able to find a place to stay, Saturn? I'm staying at the Wet Wick. Both of their faces fall. I see. Would you like a guide? It might be preferable to wandering about alleyways. Yes, please. I am very lost. Can I hold your hand? That would be nice. Min clicks their tongue and sighs, sounding mightily put out. Going to the Amaryllis district? That gaudy suspect? Come, this way. Despite Min's clear distaste, when Cross leads me down the street, they keep pace with us. Catching my curious glance, Min's eyes narrow. It's not safe this late. I don't care about you, but Cross is the only doctor worth a damn in this place. Are you like this with everyone? The deadpan look Min gives me is answer enough. I catch Cross hiding a slight smile. I suppress a sigh and resign myself to having a grumpy shadow all the way back to the Wet Wick. The route Karas takes is completely different from my slow meandering earlier in the morning. In no time at all, he cuts through darkened streets and twisting alleys. Yeah, this is beautiful at night, though. It seems like half the city has poured into Amaryllis District's colorful lights, laughter, clinking glasses, and music assault my ears from every direction. Yet the most noise still comes from the Wet Wick, its doors hanging wide open, lanterns lit. we are. Dude, you have such long hair and it's beautiful. He moves towards the door and Min lets out an audible huff. Don't tell me you're going in. I have some quick business with Leander. Fine. He still owes me for yesterday's work. They drag their feet, reluctantly trailing me into the tavern. As soon as the doors open, a wave of sticky heat rolls over me. In the hours since I've left, the wake has grown suffocatingly crowded. Cross stands out easily a head taller than most. Even so, I nearly lose sight of him amid the sea of swarming bodies. Pardon me. The crowd parts as though answering his request. Cross glances over his shoulder at Min and me before gliding through. How can anyone breathe in here? Min follows Cross at a clipped pace. Leander is right where I left him, although he's traded places with the bartender. He's holding a pair of shot glasses filled to the brim with luminous green liquid. And now for the finishing touch. A flash of magic paints the glasses white with frost. You're never gonna guess what's in these. Leander slides the glass across the bar, and I get my third and fourth shots of the evening in rapid succession. Ice leans against the bar, an elbow propped up on the counter. He catches the glasses and lifts one to the light before turning it upside down. The contents magically congealed. Stay firmly in place. You're supposed to make drinks, pretty boy. Don't tell me you're wasted already. Veer, perched on the bar's counter beside Ice, takes a single look at the shot glass and shakes his head. What have we here? A bucket full of boogers? Leander's nose treasure? What the hell is going on? You all know each other. Great. Are you comparing notes? You've eaten worse. Veer's lips twitch and his ears flatten when Ice offers him a glass. He turns his cheek with a sniff, and Ice just snickers. Coward. Don't tell me you're actually. In one fluid motion, Ice throws back his head and downs the shot. Drinking that. A dark look crosses Ice's face. It's chewy. It's Jell-O. Chewy? Wait, let me try again. Behind me, Min grumbles. I told you this place was a nest of degenerates. If it isn't Karas and Min! At the sound of Leander's voice, Min's pale eyes grow wide. They look ready to bolt until Karas sets a hand on their shoulder. I promise this will not take long. Min's eyes start from Karas's hand to his face, then soften. There was some chemistry between you two at some point. Fine. You first. While they step forward, I linger behind, struck by a sudden revelation. All of the people I've met today know each other. Good evening, Leander. Ice. Another drinking competition, I presume? Oh, is it evening already? I could have sworn it was earlier. Just some friendly rivalry, Doctor. Nothing to be afraid of. Karas acknowledges Leander and Ice with the slightest nod, ignoring Veer entirely. Not that Veer seems to mind. This is so weird. Dude, I didn't have a chance to see your belt. Oh my god, that is such a cool belt. He tilts his head, and an impish smile curves his lips when he spots Min looming silently behind Karas. I almost didn't see you there, Min. Looking for your booster seat? Fight, 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 fight. Please fight. Min pushes back their hood, They level Veer with a cold look. I thought Ice wasn't allowed to bring his pets here. Veer's tail gives an angry twitch. That is a very interesting picture. At the first sign of an impending fight, Leander vaults over the counter and slides between Ice and Karas. Now, let's try to keep the peace. It's not every day the esteemed doctor takes us up on a drink. His arm sneaks around Karas's shoulder. You are finally taking me up on that drink, right, Karas? I'm afraid not. We're merely escorting Saturn back to her lodgings. Karas gestures in my direction and my stomach sinks. I reluctantly step into the light. As soon as he sees me, Leander's face brightens. Saturn, it's been too long. Everyone, this is Saturn. She's new to Iridia. I feel 5 pairs of eyes fix onto me, and suddenly the bar feels suffocatingly small. My voice nearly catches in my throat. We've already met. Yeah, I've met everybody. You've already met? Eyes and Veer level with me, subtly amused expressions. Veer's tail gives a lazy wag. We did, not that long ago either. I'm starting to suspect she's stalking me. Nobody's stalking your ass. He looks far too pleased with himself when I roll my eyes. This calls for drinks. What does everyone want? In an instant, all eyes turn to Leander, freeing me from the burden of attention. I still can't believe they all know each other. Watching them talk amongst themselves feels surreal. But for the first time since I've undertook the journey to Iridia, I feel a faint glimmer of hope. I know I was meant to meet them. The low, pleasant rumble of Leander's laughter pulls me from my restless thoughts. Ha! What color me surprised? You make friends fast, Saturn. I wouldn't go that far. Or more like acquaintances? A wise man once said that acquaintances are merely friends you haven't shared a drink with yet. Was that wise man you, Leander? Are you just drunk right now? A wise man? You said that. Here. Last week. See, I get men way more than I get the rest of these guys. I don't even understand how, so... I hear men's lip curl with a distaste from across the bar. Leander clears his throat and continues, unperturbed. Let's toast to Saturn's health. Care to join in, Doctor? Cross politely declines with a wave of his hand. He has to keep his wits about him. He's overworked. How about you, men? No. Are you? No. A resounding pop pierces the din of the bar. We all turn to the direction of the noise. Veer looks almost bashful as he accepts an overflowing flute from the bartender, poured from a bottle so old its label has been worn blank. They serve champagne here? Since when? Veer pauses in the middle of licking champagne foam from his fingers with a coy smile. You don't mind, do you? In a transformation as impressive as his magic trick, the concern on Leander's face vanishes. He laughs softly. No, be my guest. I know you've got expensive taste. Then he shoots the bartender a frantic look. Unbothered or uninterested in his company, Ice cants his head at me, a light smile on his lips. How about you, Sparrow? I did say I'd buy you a drink earlier. No, my treat. Ice regards Leander over the lip of his glass. In the dim light, the glint of his crimson eyes looks downright dangerous. What will it be? Alright, you know what? We're drinking. I'm taking you up on that drink, as long as it's not one of those green shots. Don't knock them till you try them. They taste better than they look. Somehow I doubt that, but I hold my tongue long enough for Leander to go behind the bar. He's lying, isn't he? When I glance at Ice, he only shrugs. Like I said, they were chewy. Probably poison too. He considers his own drink a tumbler of amber-colored whiskey. Leander's tried to kill me a dozen times by now. It's always a gamble. Fear clicks his tongue in disapproval. When he finally looks my way, it's with a half-lit gaze softened by his third glass of champagne. Were I you, I wouldn't let Leander put anything in my mouth. Not gonna touch that one. He fans his fingers over his chest, voice dripping with fake reverence. The Wet Wick is one of the finest drinking establishments in all of Erida. While you're here, you may as well partake in the signature watered-down drinks and stale nut leather. He sweeps his hand towards a chipped ceramic bowl filled with spindly, speckled jerky that I can only assume is nut leather. What is it with the food in this city? As abysmal as you make it sound, this place is completely packed. It's not all bad. Depending on the day, the food's edible. Ice takes a measured sip of his drink. Gotta stick around for the real attractions, though. Before I can ask what he means, Leander returns with the tumbler, and he sets it in front of me, uneven chunks of ice bob in a pool of reddish purple alcohol. Ooh, did I get wine? I eye the drink suspiciously. It better not be another disgusting concoction of Leander's. Relax, it's just the local specialty, plum gin. Although if you're feeling more adventurous, I shake my head. Leander wraps his knuckles against the bar until the group falls silent. All right, everyone, let's toast. May Saturn's stay in Iridia be full of bright adventures and discoveries. Cheers! Leander, Ice, and Via raise their glasses in unison. Min only crosses their arms and Karaz watches with polite indifference. I tip back my drink. The plum gin is eye-wateringly strong. Despite a sharp medicinal edge, it does go down smooth. One sip softens the edges of my vision. The next fades the din of the crowded bar into a slow, persistent murmur. I find myself unwinding for what feels like the first time in years. I'm going to stop this one here because, you know, the toast was a pretty good spot to end on. So, yep, we'll continue on another day. And we'll come back to the questions in another video. Like, comment, subscribe. Tell me who's your favorite character in this so far. Because, like, Cross is my favorite as far as, like, the aesthetics, but personality-wise, I'm liking Min. But, whatevers. Until then, I'll see you in the next video.